Bodhi, how are you doing today? You there, Bodhi?
What's going on, y'all? I'm doing pretty good. How are you,
Here.
Scott?
Good. I'm good. Bodhi, is it true that you would like to have a Pink Panther tattooed on your body?
I don't know.
I
I consider it. I can
Yeah.
consider it.
I made it up on the spot, Bodhi. It's okay.
I love it. Pink Panther's pretty tight. He's a
Dude,
sneaky guy.
I'm wearing my Bodhi glasses today. You had these
Heck
on for
yeah.
Race to the Rails, but you had the pink. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Jeff got me those custom special, and they actually Sky Tavern took those from me. Those are gone.
Like, why did they take them from you?
The Mountain didn't. They're gone. I lost them at Sky
you
Tavern.
lost them. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wait, was there more story? Oh, yeah, that's a
Yeah, no. Super
Bodhi,
bummed on that, actually.
Can I just say, our children screamed the loudest I've ever heard them scream for any athlete for you. They were off. I mean, even our 3-year-old was yelling, Bodhi, Bodhi. Like, you were awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was crazy. It was a really, really exciting event. It felt pretty real deal.
It did. The race. Like, I think I think it was all of you guys as competitors made the event, right? On how close things were, the falls, the features, all of those things made the event. One, can you just talk about the Ranger Danger really quick? Right? That's what it was being called, correct?
Yeah, Ranger Danger was a pretty sweet, pretty gnarly and fun feature, or as I like to call them, feature.
Yeah.
Built and led by the legendary Logan Upsall, aka Tarzan, a very talented and loving and cool dude that is One Wheel. For the last few events, One Wheel's hit Logan up and had him around to help build and set things up, and he's a super solid dude.
So that's what we see in the
Ranger
video.
Danger.
The guy that was building. The guy that was building is
with
Logan.
the long hair.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Logan.
Yeah.
So Logan built Ranger Danger with the help of a bunch of homies. And basically, we for a few years we've been asking for featies in the races. Because I personally, Race to the Rail is considered the national championships or the world championships. And so it should be a race that fully tests the rider's abilities and pushes us to our absolute maximum. Yeah. And so we want a little more. We've been asking for a little more features in the races, and so this year they were like, "All right, you want some features? Let's go." So they built Ranger Danger, which was originally not a roller. Originally, it was like this.
Oh, they were gonna do a drop.
A freaking booter, dude! It was a Showtime money booter. But it was just kind of breaking people off, and it was a little too extreme. So
yeah, there would have been carnage for sure with that, right?
Oh yeah, because everybody would have been sending it like I did, and what you saw when I sent it is what happens when you fully blast off with the One Wheel GT and don't commit over the toes enough. You just tail out.
Yeah.
So they made some adjustments to Ranger Danger, and it's actually a very well designed feature where you can either roller it, like it forces you to kind of slow down, and you can either roller it and just whoop, come over the top and pump down it like most people did, or you can just sender like I did. And I told everybody, I was like, yo, for the culture, I'm making it to the second support beams on Ranger Danger. That was my goal, to blast it, and I just kind of didn't quite make it, but luckily I had enough time to get back on my board. And
yeah, we'll show that. We'll show that. Let's get to the first heat, right? You were in the second heat of the day, right, on the men's side.
When I blasted it?
No.
Heat.
The first heat. You were in the very first heat, or was Austin in the first heat?
Oh, I think the very first heat of the day, I think, was Austin's heat.
Yeah, so let's play that really quick, because this is where the upset of any bracket comes, is in this first round. If we can roll some of that footage, I don't know if you've gone back. So this is the first heat. Austin's in first. Austin, we know that because he's got a red helmet on. And look at the space between everybody, like dust flying everywhere. Such an epic race to watch. He gets passed here. I was like, what just happened here? Austin is receded number one, fastest all year, and he got passed there. Which
is that Neil?
I think Neil, so. Right? I can't. I think it was Neil. So then you get Austin, who has to just, at that
He's
point.
He's got to send it with everything.
But he could have also been okay with just being second because top two move on, right, Bodhi?
True.
Yep.
Okay. So here is later on the race where Austin tries to make a pass on one of the points of right here. He's making, and he eats it. And it's,
went down.
Yeah, and it's over.
And that was it.
That's the winner of the heat right there. And Austin gets third or fourth, and he's out.
He's done.
His first heat, he can't, like the favorite was gone instantly. And right there, I was like, crap. Anybody's game. I'm gonna be honest, Bodhi. Okay, don't hate me on this. When everybody's asking me my picks, I said Austin to win, but my dark horse was Bodhi. If anyone can upset any bracket, it's Bodhi. So I was going off of what I saw all year, right? Like, and I was just like that. So I
was straight Bodhi.
Yeah, you were
straight Bodhi. All the way.
I have to. I'm sorry, Bodhi. If you just accept my apology, that'd be great publicly.
That's all good. I accept your apology. Everybody thought Austin was going to win. I didn't really have anyone picked. I went to go fill out my bracket, and I just looked at it and was like,
whatever.
Nope, yeah. I can't do this. I have no freaking clue.
I will say,
ONEWHEEL racing is already a bit of a crapshoot, like as we've seen every single year. It's like things can go down. I don't know if you noticed, Noah Build landed the first feature, the kicker, and his sensor dipped out on him.
Oh no!
Is that what? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If you watch Noah Build, he stomps it, dude, and his board just
he falls, right?
And me last year, I just made that little tiny mistake on the trail, and it threw my board out from under me. Done.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how and everybody, you look at that setup of riders, that list of riders, so evenly matched. Like if we all went down in our fastest and actually timed ourselves before the race, I feel like there would really only be a few seconds between the top seed and the bottom seed. It was an insane pack of riders.
It was. I think that's, again, what made it so wild. And I also think anytime you're going to race a machine, if it's cars, dirt bikes, there's a lot that can break in a machine that it's not your issue.
Where you don't have any control of circumstances.
In BMX racing, same with a bicycle or skateboards, but I think when it's a machine moving, I think there's a lot more moving parts all of a sudden. When you watch motocross, shocks break, just all kinds of crazy stuff take place, and it's not because of the rider. It just
happens.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's get to your heat. This is your heat, your first go of the day. We're well into it. You're in first. Look at the cat, and then just eat.
So that's Noah going down right there.
Yeah, gone. You are.
So
look at that.
This right here, this feature right here, that gap is like a 4-foot gap onto probably 6-foot long platform.
Okay, wait. So
we can't tell that from this.
See,
we couldn't see any of that.
Huge. You had to clear it.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
are you able to run that footage back at all?
Yeah. We'll run it again. You'll see exactly what you just saw.
So there's a rock kicker right there.
Yeah, where he falls, right?
So there goes. No, it goes down. So you can pause it right there.
Pause there, Eppers. Epic. Go ahead and hit pause. Or legend. Sorry, there you go.
All right, so if you're looking at it, left of the function banner, there's a B line. If you watch the women's race.
Oh, yeah, they took it all the time.
B-line. Yep. So you can go around it because all the girls were sending that right side in practice, but the girls and a couple guys got broke off by that feature, coming up a little bit short onto the platform or a little sideways, just getting tossed. I watched a couple people get pretty worked. And so to the viewers left or riders right, there's a B line that goes up and around a little bit. But then if you bomb it right here, the side I hit, the bigger side, it's about, like I said, it's probably about 5-foot gap to a 6-foot platform. And then that little drop right there. And then to the right of it, there's 2 platforms of the same length that are about, I'd say, 3 feet from the kicker. And then the platforms are 4 feet long. They're a little shorter.
Yeah.
And so I hit the left line because if I hit the right side at the base, I was probably going about 20, somewhere around 20. If I hit the right side of the kicker line, I would have gapped to the end of that platform and just hit the end and got smoked. So I had to hit the longer, bigger line so I had more air time to land. And I tail drag every time I hit it, I would tail drag the whole thing and then launch off of it into tail drag and then try to get my tire down. And I'd usually tap my tail a little bit on the landings, but bring it up. And it was like, it's the most hectic, like riding the freaking bull.
Yeah,
you just have to hit it at full speed and just commit to it.
And but also, if you go to the left on the short side, that's not the A line in the dirt
to get
either.
off. Yeah,
because then you have to come back over. You can see where it's well padded down to the left. That's all loose, sandy gravel. It looks like.
Well, then you got to cut over quick to get to that line.
But I did notice, like,
it kills a lot of your speed having to take the B line.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you could tell. I was questioning why I saw. I don't know that any men took the B line, but some of the women took the B line, and I was questioning why they. I mean, not that I'd be able to do the trick anyways, but now it makes sense with such a huge gap. Why they would choose
it's a big gap, and it hurt a couple people. So
I was saying, Bodhi, before you got on, the one thing I felt like Jack and the commentators needed to do for us was break down give us shots overhead of what. They only talked about Ranger Danger, and I get it because it was the biggest one, but we had no idea that gap was what it was.
That big,
unless I missed it. They could have said it once, but I think anytime you watch heat races, you kind of got to restate some things because sometimes you're not paying attention to that heat because the people you are picking aren't in it. And so I just was unaware. Okay, here's you coming up to Ranger Danger then with a considerable, I mean, you owned this. That's you in the lead. There's no one behind you. Look at that. Hit it again. Hold on. Hit it again. Hit it again. Hit play again.
One more time.
Okay.
Here you go.
You just.
I was like, for the culture. Yeah.
Boom. We lost it in the house, Bodhi.
I had tears for you, Bodhi.
Dude.
I couldn't believe
it. My sensor cut out right there, dude. I was like, no way, I'm done.
I thought the same thing, but then I was like, nah, it's Bodhi. Bodhi.
We did say over and over, maybe it'd be fun to watch it like live action or whatever, but our crew, after we saw the women go on Saturday and then we were watching some of the races of the guys, every one of our kids was like, this course is made for Bodhi for sure. This is straight up his type of racing.
For sure.
So it was just really fun to see how excited the kids were for you because they were like, this is his type of riding. He's got this all the way.
Bodhi, people in the chat are saying, look at that air. That you got.
Yeah.
They should have given out awards, and maybe they did and we didn't see it. But biggest air on Ranger Danger,
for sure.
You got it
for sure.
I think
I told a couple people before I was like, yo, I'm here to fight 2 battles. I'm trying to go the fastest and I'm trying to go the biggest.
Yeah, I think PV was the next closest, and he had the same amount of
PV you was did. The other one that sent it,
and then he didn't.
Mike Lucido got a really solid picture of Brandon PV blasting over Ranger Danger.
Oh man! Oh, hopefully that surfaces somewhere. Okay, so that's there for you. Do we have another from Heat? Do we have another one for Bodhi's that race there? Okay, so we're gonna go to the semifinals. We got the pictures of it. So here are the 2 heats that are left in the semifinal. Right. This is Tyler James, reigning champ. Correct.
Yes.
From last year. Yeah.
Tyler won last year.
Right, so just so everyone that's online understands, when you see that picture to the left of Bodhi there, let's make that go full screen so everyone at home gets to see. This is one of the semi-heats. I think it's the second semi-heat, or first. You're going to watch this race go really quick. Some really top riders here. Jeff Adir's in there, who we interviewed a few weeks ago. Super, super fast. Kyle Hansen, a machine. Luke Austin. All these people just could mob. But if I'm picking, I'm going first Tyler James. That's who I was like, he's winning. And I think Jeff Adir could win it. But I think the next 3, it was going to be like whoever doesn't fall. Okay, now let's roll some footage of the semifinal with Tyler falls at the finish line. Okay, look, here they all are mobbing.
Dude, what an upset.
Yeah, right? Okay, so this is the...
Bombing!
All of you guys were flying. Here's one of the... You hit the shade.
Fast Tyler went
Jeff
right
falls.
There, he's just shing.
Jeff can't get back up. He eats it again in the back, so Jeff's out. Nowhere to be found from here. Now you have people...
Such a sick pass.
They all were conservative there. No one wrote it like you, Bodhi.
Nobody.
Kyle is in first at the moment. And I think, he's in first. And no one's like... there's no way he was gonna get beat, in my opinion. Here, he just was. He knows how
Kyle's
to
just
ride
trying to stay on his feet.
this
This
area.
section, this section right here, all these bumps were washboarded, completely washboarded. It was like it was so easy to go down in that section from throttling too hard. It was not smooth in there,
Yeah,
in the
where
slightest.
if people have never rode that and don't know what you're talking about, it's the best way to get bucked off your one wheel real fast. Okay,
Because
so
it's
they're coming.
bumpy, so
Now they're coming to the finish line. Here's Kyle in a clear lead. Like, he could just shift down a little bit, right? He didn't need to sprint across. I would love to know what was going through his mind, because he's got it. He's going to go on, and then boom. One wheel never crosses the finish line. 1, 2.
damn.
Jeff Adair out, and so is Tyler. Oh.
Wow.
What, did you talk to Tyler after that?
Yeah, well, not really. I like came up and hugged him and congratulated him for sure. But yeah, no, he was bummed, but he handled it really well. I think that was like a slight turn, and he was coming into it not like nice and low turning, and I think he just like was really stoked, and kind of like his mind got ahead of his body a little bit, and I think he was just leaning over the edge a little too hard and on the throttle. Because if you ride a GT, you know, like even with an enduro, that like especially without an enduro, but even with an enduro, it'll just like kind of roll over and tip.
Yes.
And I think he just like wasn't necessarily calculating, because he performed so well in that race. Like if you watch his pass coming around that turn into the kicker, it's so sketchy going high speed around that turn. You can't really tell in my races, but I do 3 full-on speed checks before I drop into that corner, because it's chunk, kicker, chunk. And so if you come around that corner full speed and try to brake around that corner, you'll tail out and go flying off the mountain. So Tyler making a pass in that section after the ramp was so sick. And then he handled the entire rest of the course like a freaking G. And so I think he just was too stoked coming into the finish line and wanted to have a nice steezy low finish.
Yeah.
And just had that burnout right at the end there. I was in the shuttle up on the road trying to look through the trees. I heard it happen. I didn't see it happen. I just heard like, oh, and then it was like Kyle and Luke Austin, and I was like, what? Because I just watched that whole pass and the whole thing go down with my eyeballs, and I was like, what? How did? There's no way. He must have blown it right at the end.
That's what,
I was like, no way.
That moment, like again in our house, 8 Grums watching and Holly and I watching, we were silent. There was just like, what just happened right there? Like, it was like, no way. Okay, so now you have a semi heat, you are final, and you are on. So now we have the bracket is filled. As my camera, we turned off the wrong camera. We'll get that sorted out here in a second. Sorry about that. Epic, can we put up the bracket really quick of the men's final? Who are the final 4, so that everybody gets to see it? Okay, let's make that go full screen. So here is the final going up against Bodhi. No, so Bodhi, anyone on that like stood out to you at all that you were like, oh man, I'm super nervous to go against?
Well, I mean, all of them. Like, if you're in the finals of Race for the Rail, you're a pretty deadly rider. And Luke Austin was a new face on the scene, and I like called him wild card at one point of the weekend, and I was like, no, this dude's not even a wild card. He's freaking booking. Like, he's fast. He's really fast and consistent, and he's a total sleeper. So I was concerned about all of them, because in my head, Neil and Austin are like my like standard of like racer. You know, like I look at Neil, Austin, Floaty, Kyle. Those are the guys that I'm like striving. Tyler, I'm like striving to be fast like those guys. But in my head, you know, my local dudes are Neil and Austin, and they're super duper fast. So having Neil and Kyle in the final had me nervous, because Neil's super duper fast, really deadly rider. Kyle's a cat. If you watch the pre video of the race, everyone's like, they're like, whose shoes do you want to be able to wear? And everyone's like, Kyle. Like,
because he never falls off.
Because he never falls off. He's a freaking cat. He's like an incredible rider. So I was definitely sweating, but I was also so stoked, because like my main thing, I've had a lot of, years of competing in one wheel events and whitewater stand-up paddle. I've even done like some skateboard competitions and stuff. And once you do it enough, you realize like the whole thing isn't about like that one race right there. It's about like it gives you something to look forward to. It gives you a reason to train and practice and set yourself up. It gives you people that you know you're going to compete with to look up to. It gives you, you know, a community to come meet up with. And then when you're at the race, it's like I'm trying to focus on being very present throughout it all and enjoying the whole thing, practicing well, but also making sure I'm chilling well and networking well. And so I was just so stoked throughout the whole day and very present, and like just sitting in that truck and like being in the finals with those guys. We were all just in there happy, excited, congratulating each other. And so I think that vibe definitely just really helps, the not being like scared and more being excited.
Yeah, you definitely, like, again, through video, right? You had a different vibe this year in all of the races than I'd seen previously from all the other ones. You were much more chill. I don't know. You figured some things out. It showed in your racing. You weren't racing. You were just flowing. You were in it. So you figured out some things, man. And so let's get to the final race. Okay, so we're going to watch the whole thing, and you can talk about what's going on. I might ask questions, but let's fire that up. Let's go full screen so then Bodhi can get – so where are you lined up here, Bodhi?
I'm in the worst start gate. The one start gate sucks. It's super chunky and crappy. I'm trying to push over. I wanted to push over early on, but I couldn't. It was too chunky. Right there, me and Neil almost schmacked. We actually touched a little bit.
I'm really nervous right
Bodhi's
here, Bodhi.
last.
And
Clearly
so right
last.
here, Kyle's booking. It's super, like, if you notice, every fourth position rider backs up in that section. Neil went down right there. Yep. Every fourth position rider backs up right there because when you're racing, the dust is a big thing. The riders in front of you kicking up dust, making the trail in front of you, you can't see the trail in front of you at all. It makes it completely blind. So that's why you'll see people back off of you. I stomped down so hard. I was pumped on that. That's why people back off of each other, because you're kicking up all that dust. But, like, if you need to push and pass, you just have to push and not be able to see the trail. So
look, you're the only one to go the long side, and then that happened. Let's pause that. Pause it. Okay, hold on. How did you feel when old dude? Let's just cut you off like that. Were you even like, get out of my way, or were you just rolling? Did you?
Oh no, so that timed out perfectly. Like, I almost took him out, and I was like pretty much ready to, but he was super quick with it, and luckily his board like kicked out to the side. I didn't have to worry about his board, and I saw him running after his board and just did kind of like, I don't know if, for my snowboarders out there, when you're on the mountain, you got to dodge Jerry's, you know, and you just have to think like, you just have to like, whoop, whoop, and do the little Jerry dodge. Not saying we used Jerry at all, but that's the tech that I like utilized in that moment. And I was like, oh, I'm good. And I just stayed strong, and I was just ready for that little tiny graze. And I just kind of pushed and grazed and like went past and kept it impact free and kept mopping. But there was a split second where I was like, oh, this homie's about to take me out. Yeah, but then I went through.
And you're the only one, if everyone notices here, it's a replay. Everyone goes to the left.
You see how little time they have on the platform?
Yeah.
I guess I have little time on it too. But it's like at that speed, you really wanted to hit that left side. But it was intimidating. It was a big gap. You know, Neil laced it right there.
Yeah.
So now you're in third.
So right here, check it out. Speed checks. Pop, 2 speed checks.
Oh, you're in second. Sorry.
Almost lost it through the chunk. Kyle's absolutely just bombing. Super clean run. I saw him gap it, so I was like, oh, I got to do a little gap. Gapped it. I aired it every heat. Let me get a little love for that. Every heat. Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah! Everybody sent it on the last one. I got to have mad respect for all the finalists on that, because it's scary, dude. It's risky, too. That if it takes you out, you could lose your race just trying to go big.
We saw a lot of people race done there.
Dude, shout out Sam Lara for his sendiness. Sam Lara was out there fucking sanding it. Oops, excuse me.
Yeah, this section, like in the girls' race, you saw people passing, which I was like, no way, that's going to be a tough place to pass. Now, this is you trying to make up ground. Could you just not? Was he just riding a whole nother level?
He was bombing, and I was going as fast as I could through the chunk. Right here, chunk. And I was like, all right, throttle, and then it's like a bumpy, kind of chunky little berm. You can see the little like tuk coming out of our boards. Right here for a second, I was kind of gaining on him. I was like, am I going to get him? And I was like, nah, he's got it. He's freaking got it. I was trying so hard to catch up with him in that end section, but it was just so bumpy. It was so hard to like pick up speed and drive speed, and he was already mobbing super hard. I just couldn't get him. Kyle, I did my best, and Kyle's best was just a little bit better.
And that's where you watch Austin. Austin eats it there because, again, if I was better at or faster at editing, and put both your line, you pick top part of that berm, and Austin was down in that soft stuff of the berm, and you just saw the board just slide out from underneath him, and if you miss the line on some of those things, you pay for it, right? You just pay for it. Bro, we were super amped for you. It was cool to see, like, we have the Podium here where you're getting, you got a little money coming out there, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude, I got paid.
You got paid a little bit. You can go get a little bit of new shades now that you paid your 10% to the hill, the mountain, by leaving glasses there.
Yeah.
That trophy's pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude. And Julian made it, the guy, like one of their main dudes, like Kyle's right hand man, who was there. Shout out Julian for pulling up the race with the rail. It was sick. Like their main, I don't even know what. I think Julian's the chief engineer or something is his main title.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a rad dude. So he came out to the race, which was sweet.
I mean, on a side note, I've not met anybody that works with One Wheel that's not a pretty cool person. You know,
they're all rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all super cool people.
Yes. It was a fun race, Bodhi. You made it, for especially us being big fans of you. You made it pretty exciting to watch. There was sadness but second, you were. How many were in the men's bracket this year? 14? 16?
16, I think. Yeah, 16. Legend just said
16. And you were ranked what, 14th or 13th?
Coming into it, I think I was 14 or 15.
To watch you go from 14 to 2, that's my point. You at any point you can turn it on and you can throw it down. And so that's what makes it fun to watch what you do and all the content you drop and all those things. Float Life is pretty. They got to be pretty stoked to have you as one of their teammates out there working and being able to throw out content. It's fun to watch what you do, bro.
Bodhi, I will never pick anybody else.
I'll never.
Always gonna pick you. Always.
It's gonna be my year, 1 year, dude. One of these times, I'm gonna be the one holding that weapon of mass shred destruction.
Hold on, I have a correction. Yeah. When our boys get in there, then I'm gonna go for them.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go.
Too soon.
And you can pick who that is later. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yes,
those boys are gonna be hard to between.
And because we don't want anyone, Bodhi, to call us that we aren't documenting the women's, we were just as engaged in that and screaming. Our pick, I think 100% in the home, was Mercedes. We had a chance to interview her months ago, and we have her finish line run here of the women's. So we do want to play that so people, because Rachel Cecil had an amazing race. I don't know who she is, but she, look at this. Mercedes leads the whole way until the one spot we're talking about. It's got the worst chunk ever, and she's low in it, and she makes the pass.
And she makes it.
On the sickest line through there.
Yeah, and then Mercedes can't. Mercedes has got to ride past her ability. You watch it right. Watch this right here. Oh, man. That was a great finish. I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, what just happened to Mercedes?
Finish. You don't know who Rachel Cecil is?
No, to be honest with you, I
we
know
knew
her
the name because she was in the rankings and things like that, but we've not necessarily followed her or
I do now.
Now we do.
That's wild. Yeah, Rachel Cecil has been like one of the top female riders for years. She's fucking crazy sweet freestyle rider. She's got a lot of tricks in the bag. She was in our both of our films, A New Normal and Socially Distant.
Somehow I missed
now
it,
the
man.
champion. Now you know her.
I know
She's tight,
her.
dude.
I DM'd her to see. She has no idea who I am. I DM'd her Sunday, I think, and said, "Hey, would you like to be on the podcast?" I'm pretty sure she's like, "Who is Scott? Why would I want to do that?" But we're trying to get her on here to have her talk about it because it's like she wrote.
Sounds like you guys got to meet.
Yeah. She rode so good. I saw
good.
her video you guys dropped at Float Life where she shares a couple tricks, 3 tricks. I was like, yeah, come on, these are great beginner tricks. She did such a better job of teaching people how to do the hard stop. I don't know what it's actually called. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the way to teach it right there. So
yeah, she saw that timed out perfectly too. We planned to post that video like weeks ago.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you could.
And then she won.
So
like, hey.
Me being an editor and a filmer, I knew it was. I assumed. I didn't know. I assumed it was shot before this because she speaks nothing of Race for the Rail winner. Nothing is mentioned, and so
yeah, she came out and visited like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. She was just super cool personality. It was really funny. We have the footage. Did you see her award ceremony? And the 9-day difference between the men and women. ONEWHEEL did do it a little bit different the next day. Did you see how they did? This is her. No one else is on there. No checks are being presented. She's being presented the sword, and that's about it. Now watch. Yeah. Somebody in the crowd gets a hold of champagne, I'm assuming it is.
And sprays her right in the face.
Right. Like, they just won't. And it's like, she has to say, stop. Like, stop spraying me. Like,
she's like, give me that bottle.
Yeah, okay, so whoever's that, it could be you, buddy. They're spraying her right in the face. She's trying to put on a performance. And they're there. She's like, okay, cool. Lay off, man. So it was pretty cool. She's got a good personality right there.
Yeah, the champagne in the eyeballs is so brutal, bro. It stings.
Yeah, that's why in...
it's like mace. Everyone's cheering. You can't see anymore.
Yeah. That's why in locker rooms of, like, any professional sport, they have goggles on. Because they're like, champagne in the eyes. I might as well just pour gasoline in my eyeballs.
For real.
Hey, somebody at the beginning of the show said everybody was riding the enduro tire to race it with. Is that is correct?
There was 2 riders that didn't race on enduros. Every single racer was laced up with enduros, courtesy of the Float Life, and 2 riders did not ride enduros. One was Zoe Thomas because she was trained on the slick tire and wanted to ride that tire, which I respected. And then Noah Mead also raced on a treaded Future Motion tire, which was the only tire to go flat of the whole weekend.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, eyeballs.
Saying something, not saying something.
Hashtag.
So the Float Life Enduro was the official tire of Race for the Rail 2022.
Yeah.
And they carried us well down that hill.
They did. And a lot of people had the ring savers on there as well, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got to have the rimmies on there because you don't have as much clearance from your tire to your rim with the GT. It's got that half-inch bigger diameter on the hub, so any tire, I would suggest rim savers on there no matter what.
Yeah,
and then
you keep telling me that.
They also help the they push the enduro up a little bit and shift the shape. Actually, the enduro rides differently with and without lifesavers, and they're both phenomenal, obviously. But I think I like it a little better with the rim savers.
I'm gonna have to do this. I've been riding for a month with that enduro with no ring saver. I need to get it and put it on. I'm gonna do. Thank you for the bang bumpers.
Of course, they made it.
They made it. They're here. We're filming tomorrow the videos for it. I'm stoked on it. People were like, wait, what? They make them for the GT because we talked about them last week in our podcast and stuff. I was like, yeah, we have them in hand. These are amazing. We showed them here on the podcast. I've not rode with them, but we're going to throw it on. I'm trying to get my...
They're not GT bangs. Sorry, are you telling people they're GT bangs?
Oh, did I just say GT bangs? I mean XR bangs.
They're XR bangs.
Good thing I didn't give away my XR. I gave away one of mine. They are sweet. I have not rode with them. I will ride with them. He
is pretty excited about it.
Yeah. So I thank you for those. I think my favorite is the flat black. I'm a fan of flat black. However, that they also sent me, or you guys sent me the orange camouflage ones. That's pretty sick too. It's gonna be tough to see which. I might put one of. Yeah. Super. And these. Where do I got? The
was that the air freshener? The air freshener? He was so excited about the air freshener, Bodhi.
They smell so good. So much. They smell so good, man. They were in the box.
They smell good, those ones, huh?
Yeah, I got them in. in any vehicles that have doors on them. Like I drive a Jeep and it has no doors, so there's no reason to put it in that. So,
but in our family car,
yep, we're rocking it.
2 or 3 of them in there.
Bodhi, thank you. Is there anything else you want to tell that we don't know about Race for the Rail?
Race for the Rail was awesome this year. In the past, there's sometimes been a little bit of like politics between Future Motion and the brands and the racers, and this year was very, very loving and very like everybody worked together. There wasn't like hardly any bad blood or beefs whatsoever. Future Motion took a lot of rider input on the course. Both of those kickers were brought by Austin and Mercedes Silva from Seek and Shred. And the ramps were featured in the Seek and Shred race. And so it was just like a really special thing. And like you can kind of feel it through the broadcast. Like part of the reason why everything went so good was because everybody was working together. And it was very beautiful to see that. And I'm just so excited because Jack mentioned on the podcast that this year was really like actually like the second Race of the Rail is how they look at it. The first few were awesome, but they were kind of getting us here. Yeah. And now we have this whole league. We have the council. They've released official rules now. There's like, it's turned into a real thing. And so it was really beautiful to see this year, and to think that this year was year 2 of potentially decades of racing is so exciting. And so just you guys wait. There's going to be a whole lot more Ranger Dangers and a whole lot more carnage and kickers and races. So get stoked. Keep your eyes on the internet. Subscribe to the Float Life on YouTube. Follow our social medias, and you'll see a whole lot of all of that stuff go down.
Yeah, I think you guys are helping push a lot of that as well from Float Life. Really, you guys are I don't know of another brand that's pumping out content like you guys that are helping push the sport. I do think, and maybe next year it happens, but in the next couple of years, I think if Future Motion continues to do what they're doing and are going to be able to collab with these brands, I think you could see it on ESPN2. I think it's got that kind of caliber to this event, which would only invite more money for the racers, that more companies would get behind a racer going, hey, I want to sponsor you, so that more racers can do what the Silvas did, which is just spend the whole year racing.
Pack up and race.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool to watch. So I as a fan, I'm stoked. And thank you for being on the show today.
I have one more thing to say. I think what you had just said, one of the things that you would hear Jack say, and he said it about you specifically, was that you are the most, like, natural, I'll word it wrong, but the most natural, best, like, all-around one-wheeler that there is. And so it's awesome to hear you so positive, because you have such a huge voice in the community, and you just rock. So I love that he said that about you, because it is so true. You are amazing. You rock.
Yeah. Somebody just wrote in the comments, Bodhi, they said, yeah, Bodhi would be sponsored by Red Bull, cracking up on a Red Bull at the end of his race. I'd just like to thank Red Bull, my sponsor, with a Red Bull helmet on. Yeah, come on, that'd be sweet.
Come on, Red Bull, hit me up. I'm down.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Bodhi, thank you, man. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for making time for us. It was cool to hear your perspective from the race. It really was.
You rock,
absolutely.
Bodhi.
Thank you, guys.
So,
keep crushing it.
We will.
Much love.
Thanks for setting me straight on the XR bangs and not GT. If I did say that previous, I'm not sure.
I don't know if you did
or if I just said it now and you corrected me on air. I think that's great, so that when I go and film, well, I'd have caught on when I'm going to disassemble the GT and I can't get these to fit.
Boy, that would have been a real good video.
Well, no, those mistakes I never air.
That's the ones you edit out.
That's right.
For
that's
sure.
Right. Oh, wrong board.
That's the wrong board for sure. So. All right, man. Bodhi, we love you. And
love y'all too.
Get back to work. Thanks for breaking down the races with us today. Stay out of trouble
Absolutely.
now.
All right,
bye,
y'all
Bodhi.
too. Much love.
Bye, bro.
Bye, my friends. Keep wheeling.
Thank you. I do want to say a big thanks to everybody that watches every week on our YouTube channel, our podcast, or you listen to it. Without you, what would be the point? It would be just us hanging out in here doing nothing. Subscribe to the channel as we try to pump out as much one-wheel content.